I say we do a Kinder Egg next. In America, these are banned.
She proved why it's banned. Time and time again, you guys have shown that us Americans have proven that we may or may not have a few lacking brain cells. And it never ceases to amaze me because you guys have some intense stories about encounters with us out in the wild. Like this, for instance. Some 20 years ago, I started seeing an American girl studying medicine here in the UK. One day she tells me she's going to the Netherlands for the weekend to meet up with a friend from home. So obviously I tell her to have a nice time and see her when she gets back. I pick her up from the airport when she returns and ask if she's had a good time. She tells me not really, as all the signs and information, etc. were in Dutch. I ask her what she expected them to be in, and she said she knew they would be in Dutch, but she thought they would have the English translation as well. I didn't say anything and just looked at her bemused. A short pause later, she said, "This is why people call us dumb Americans, isn't it?" Absolutely. And I've been in situations like that myself where I've said some very questionable things, even in these videos, and you guys are like, "James, what are you doing?" That's where we dive into today's video, because there was an interesting situation with an American streamer that went absolutely viral, and it had to do with a certain particular candy that you guys probably have already guessed that is banned in the United States, or at least used to be banned in the United States for quite a while, for a very particular reason. If you guys are new to the channel, welcome. If you guys are returning viewers, welcome back. But before we get started, make sure you guys support the channel by liking this video and subscribing if you haven't already. It's very interesting because I have tried this myself, but we'll go ahead and dive into the video in question here.
I say we do a Kinder Egg next. In America, these are banned because American kids are dumb fucks and they just pop the whole thing in their mouth. Oh my God.
Nothing could have been as glorious or as ironic as witnessing the very thing she said the egg was banned for happening in that very moment. And the crazy thing is, I can speak on this because this has happened to me. So when I went to Germany for the first time, I had a mini meet and greet with a lot of the people that were able to, you know, shake hands and make friends and stuff, right? And one of the people who's watched my channel was like, "Hey, have you tried a Kinder Surprise egg? These are banned in the United States. So I want you to, you know, try this and let me know what you think." And so, of course, I, tried it, and well, you can just go ahead and look for yourself. I went on to prove that, again, this is exactly why it's banned in the United States, or at least was banned. I think they sell them now, but for a long time they were banned in the United States. So very wild, and obviously you guys can guess how the comment section went because it was nothing short of entertaining. That's why American health insurance is so expensive. Thanks. Left by a fellow American. Yes, our health insurance is not necessarily the best, and it is very expensive. Also, a previous video I just made, I highlighted that the health insurance companies do everything in their power to not pay or cover the injuries that you acquire, even though you're paying for your health insurance. You pay for health insurance, you have all these premiums, whatever, and then push comes to shove, you get injured, unfortunately, and your insurance company is like, "Sorry, but that's actually the one injury we don't cover." And that's gotta be annoying. But I'm pretty sure this is not something that we stand alone in with our gripes and complaints. Does this happen with you guys' health insurance as well? Please let me know in the comments down below. She proved why it's banned. She proved instantaneously why it's banned. I couldn't believe how fast she proved that. That's gotta be a speed run. That was an instant karma speed run if I've ever seen one in my entire life. Thanks for proving it's the adults also. So initially this was banned because they did not want kids accidentally swallowing toys and ruining their stomachs and stuff like that. But it turns out it's just banned because us Americans can't handle it. Tell me you're American without telling me you're an American kid. This video did a very good job of that. She was very adamant about bashing and all that other stuff.
In America, these are banned because American kids are dumb fucks.
And then stuffs the egg in her mouth and literally goes through the 5 stages of grief. It was crazy, absolutely crazy. I'm like, I cannot believe that. I mean, this post has 1 million likes too. And I'm pretty sure that was not just from everywhere else across the globe. A lot of us Americans are like, yeah, it probably needs to be banned. Okay, I mean, we can't handle that. We can handle guns though. We just can't handle swallowing eggs. She proved she is one of them. And I did too. It was literally instant. I think what's crazy is like, let's say, because I didn't didn't know. I didn't know what a Kinder Surprise egg was. I probably should have read it, right? So I opened up the Kinder Surprise egg, I bite into it, and then literally like the thing's in my mouth. I'm like, oh shit. I didn't know there was a toy in here. You know what I mean? I thought it was gonna be like a mystery cream or something, right? Like you bite into it and it's like, oh, it's like vanilla cream or Nutella or something like that. And I'm like, no, it's a whole ass toy. What the fuck is a toy doing in some candy? Kinder eggs are still very popular in Brazil. And in my 34 years, I've never seen a Brazilian kid do that. I mean, the problem isn't exactly the Kinder eggs. Now, the problem is us American. Can't handle the chocolate eggs. You know what I'm saying? Can't do it. And there's a lot more incidences like that obviously have not been recorded. Probably led to that particular type of candy surprise being banned for a long time. Again, I'm pretty sure at this juncture, it's not banned anymore, but it was banned for a reason. I would have never believed you if you didn't try. And this is also a very common point of contention I've crossed paths with quite a bit when I brought this story up, because a lot of my friends are like, come on, James, like you're exaggerating. This is obviously something that's never happened in the history of ever. And then they witness it and they're like, oh, or it happens to them and they're like, oh, and I'm like, yes, of course. That's why it's set in place. Like, that's why this whole thing became a thing in the first place. So yes, it's a thing, and we have to be very careful and weary of what we do because of that. Seeing is believing. No thanks. I'm American. And of course, it's the iconic picture of this gentleman here refusing a brain. For the amount of posts we've covered on this channel, I can't help but wonder why these comments exist. I mean, hey, I'll share a chuckle though, because it's very relatable. Banned in the United States of America, not in America. And that's a very notable statement there, because I think when we say banned in America or we reference anything American related, a lot of times us Americans are referring to the United States of America and not the totality of the Americas. North America, South America. We just assume everybody thinks that it's the United States because we are the loudest creatures in that side of the hemisphere. She's fighting for her life and they're just laughing. You wouldn't laugh? You wouldn't laugh. I mean, yeah, of course I would check on her too, but like, you wouldn't laugh? I would be dying. It would be hard for me not to giggle. I would be checking up on her, but I would also be laughing uncontrollably. Oh, I thought they banned it because it contains little pieces and kids might swallow it. I never thought of it this way. Oh, no, yeah, that's also why they ban it too, because I showed the real reason why it's banned. She just stuck the whole egg in her mouth without opening it. She just put the whole thing in her mouth, but I opened it up and I bit into it, and then, you know, you saw the clip. So I think the real reason why it's banned is because of what this comment stated and not really what the streamer did, because she put the whole wrapped egg in her mouth. Again, not the first time we've done some diabolical stuff, or the United States has been known for having a conglomerate of not the smartest people on the planet. You guys have made that very clear, and we've covered a comment already, but you guys were very adamant about leaving other comments as well under previous videos, and I wanted to go over those as well. So another comment from you guys that I thought was hilarious, because there's some truth to it, says USA is the only place where being stupid is a flex. Listen, we're the D1 clout chasers of the planet, so we will do whatever it takes to get eyeballs in our direction. Good or bad. It's so fascinating that Americans often simultaneously believe that the US is the greatest country ever while proudly claiming to be Irish, Italian, etc. And this is an interesting comment because there were plenty of videos we've covered recently where it seems like us Americans have identity crises, and it's so crazy because I'm like, well, if you're so proud to be American and stuff, and you're like, oh, but I'm Irish and German and Polish and this and this. People conveniently bring that up in the United States, right? If like you're drinking or something like that, I made the example in a previous video. If you're at Oktoberfest and you're drinking and you're belligerently drunk, you're like, oh, it's the 1% German in me. Say, excuse me, I love beer. It must be the German in me. Or during, St. Patty's Day, everybody's getting absolutely blammered and stuff and, drinking. They're like, oh, it's the 2% Irish in me. And I'm like, bro, this is so cringe. Stop while you're ahead, okay? But hey, it's okay to be proud of your heritage, but I feel like Americans make their heritage their whole personality. They go on like the myheritage.com website and they find out that they're 3% Chinese and they're like, I'm Chinese now. Ni hao. Two female Americans of Croatian heritage were on holiday in Zagreb, Croatia. They became disappointed to find out that Croatia wasn't the war-torn war zone they were expecting and not as adventurous to travel through as they would have hoped. One of them later asked some of the locals if they visit Moscow often. The locals told them that Moscow is in a completely different country and that Miami and New York are closer to each other than Zagreb and Moscow. Her response was, y'all know nothing about geography. The audacity for her to be wrong, geographically challenged, and then tell the people that have told her, hey, listen, maybe you don't know this, but Zagreb and Moscow could not be farther from each other if you tried, okay? And she's like, oh, your geography's fucked. The audacity. We must be farming audacity in those data centers in the United States. We have to be, because there's no way. How are you wrong? And then telling other people they're wrong. Stupidity at its finest. Not something that someone said to me directly, but I remember being part of a discussion where Americans said Germany doesn't have free speech as opposed to the US. For one, seeing how journalism is being treated in the US and how you fucking have to show your social media so that they can make sure you don't badmouth that walking, talking dementia case study, I doubt it. However, they specifically referred to a law we have against hate speech and also specifically laws against hate speech online, the NetzDG. If someone does it to you, you can report it under the law, and the site has to take down the post either to check the claim or to remove it in general in very obvious cases, because the IIRC, the blame is being placed on them if they take no actions against it. Free speech is not the right to say anything, anywhere, to anyone without repercussions. It's to be able to share your opinions, ideas, etc., without your government limiting that capability. And hate speech is not an opinion. The fact that there was people that were trying to argue that point was mind-boggling to me. And you would be even more mind-boggled to believe that this is still the mentality of a lot of Americans currently. They believe that hate speech is still a form of opinion that should be allowed because, hey, you could just suck it up and get over it. But what's very funny and ironic about that way of thinking is those same people who are advocating for hate speech cannot take hate speech themselves. If you direct hate speech at those individuals, they all of a sudden become very sensitive and they can't take criticism. So, I mean, the blade goes both ways, and apparently they love pain, so they are advocating for it. But I always tell people this: freedom of speech does not mean freedom of consequences. Everything you say, do, or don't do has consequences. But I feel like specifically for a lot of us Americans, it just doesn't go through our thick skulls. That's just kind of a thing. But, you know, this video in general with the Americans swallowing the Kinder Surprise egg was insane. And you know, she got packed up for good reason. You guys let me know what you think in the comments down below. Just tongue in cheek. If you guys have any input on what we've covered so far, let me know in the comments down below. I am coming back to streaming. So if you guys want to have these discussions live, go ahead and follow me on twitch.tv/JamesBray.